Well, welcome to this first ever Thought for the Day from Chepstow Parish. I'm Philip Avery, I'm the vicar here at St Mary's Priory and St Christopher's in Bulwark in this wonderful town of Chepstow. We thought, given that we aren't able to meet with people like we usually do, that hopefully myself and my colleagues and congregation members might be able to put up a thought for the day just to encourage us and to perhaps help us as we are forced into a more solitary or isolated existence for the time being, to perhaps deepen our relationship with God in this time. So this will be a short snippet that will be posted on our Facebook page, on YouTube and Twitter, and also on our website. So if you want to find these each day, please go there. But one of the readings that I had come to mind recently, and it seems apt at this time, was of the fact that God is not found in the earthquake, wind, or fire, as the song goes, but in the silence, in that still, quiet voice. And the reason that came to mind for me today was I was walking Dunstan, my dog, this morning, as is his wont, and I was just struck by the fact that we were the only ones really out there. There was the occasional other person at some distance away, as you can imagine, but it was really just Dunstan and myself. And as we walked, it was interesting because normally at that time of morning here in Chepstow, it's a really busy time and there's a lot of congestion on the streets and cars everywhere, and it sometimes takes a little while even to find a gap with which we can cross the road to get to the Dell. But this morning, and for several mornings, it hasn't been like that. And I suppose in this forced isolation, in this forced quiet, I know for some of us the quietness can be a scary place, because in the quiet you can't sort of run away from yourself. You have to confront yourself. And I think it was the same for Elijah, who was forced to confront himself. He'd run away up into the mountains, and as he sat in the cave in the mountains, he listened. Along came the earthquake, the wind, the fire, and he couldn't find God anywhere there. It wasn't until he had to confront himself, go deep within himself, into the stillness, into the quiet contemplation, and to actually see the truths about himself, that shadow side of himself, as we would say, and acknowledge it, that there, in that most inner part of his being, as Teresa of Avila would say, in his innermost castle, that's where he found God. So just a word of encouragement as we might find ourselves in a forced isolation, in a forced place of quiet and stillness, free from our usual distractions. Don't be afraid. One of the most commonly said phrases in the whole of Scripture is, "Do not be afraid." Do not be afraid to look and to discover yourself. Because when you do that, that's where you discover God to be also.